So Andrew and I'm going to do a bit of a reflection on the last 2 days, and then Andrew's going to talk about the way forward. And we're appearing on stage together because there's been rumours that we are the same person. We're not. Andrew's the straight guy, I'm the funny one. Okay, so we started this conference with the why of this conference was creating a place for people who are trying to do work which is not business as usual in our organisations and systems. So trying to bring people together who are trying to move beyond the day-to-day of how our organisations and systems work. So we got you all in a place for 2 days. Thank you so much for coming. And to create a place where you could start to reflect on your work, try to see that you're not alone, and start to understand, or at least the beginning of an understanding of what are the skills that are required to do this work. The person that Andrew quoted this morning was saying that this is the first time I've gone to a conference and I've been surrounded by people who are not in the technical expertise but in the process expertise of facilitating these kind of collective pieces of work. And what I've seen over these last 2 days is how important it is to firstly be reinforced. And I've heard from so many people in the breaks who've said to me, oh, it's so good to hear that what I was doing here was actually the right thing because I didn't have a clue at the time, or I don't have a clue now. And also see what you're missing, the things that we all need to work on if we want to be more impactful and stay in the game. The importance of kind of going below the surface and the conceptual and into actually what is the practice and what, as we've seen in this last session, what do I need to shift if I want the system to shift? They're not separate things. And the importance of the informal. I would argue that a lot of the work over the last 2 days has happened outside the rooms, as you've connected with each other and heard each other and be heard. And I want to say this again, that understanding that the work you're doing is a practice. Tanya yesterday called it the facilitator. Arnold Mindell, if any of you have read any of his work, talks about how world peace comes from facilitators. People who can stand above what's going on, see the bigger dynamics, and work with the players involved. It's a really noble profession, so I really want to commend you for sticking to it and also wanting to learn in it. Finally, I guess I'm really encouraged that I do this work like you, and sometimes it can be really discouraging. Seeing so many people who are my community in a way, of people who do work like me, and seeing so much skill has been really motivating for me. I'm exhausted. And also, not only is there skill there, but a willingness to learn. So I really want to thank you for hanging in there for 2 days. I might stop there.
My job is to talk mostly about what's next, but before I do that, I just wanted to say I really loved that last session. I personally thought it was a terrific way for us to cap off the 2 days of talking about defining and measuring outcomes and funding models and so forth. For me, it really brought it back well to holding fort and dealing with complexity and diversity and the subtleties of communication, but most of all, people. And I just thought that came to life really well in that last half hour or so. So thank you. And Lila, what I wouldn't give to have people say they love coming to a meeting. Anybody here from CSI quotes that back to me. My radical thought might be how to achieve that, which might also mean letting go of a bunch of stuff. But there you go.
Give away M&Ms.
To the future. I guess the key message is go forth and prosper. And I mean that, I think, in 2 ways. One is go forth and multiply. And I don't mean that in the same way as perhaps Francesca, who was the project manager for this for a long period of time, who brought little Noah in just now. But I really hope that you are able to go back into your communities and to sort of spread the word, both to grow the field of this approach of collaboration for impact, and also to grow your own impact in your communities. But the other side of going forth and prospering is that I really want you to go forth and succeed. I passionately want you to be successful in whatever it is that you are addressing with your collaborative approach. And I hope that the growing now community is a great resource to you in doing that. So that's my next point, really. I really passionately hope you find value in continuing to engage with the community, whether it's with each other, and as Kerry said, we can't get you to shut up, so that's a positive sign. Whether it's through the website that Kerry's just introduced as that evolves into what we hope becomes a really powerful tool for the community. But we also think that the community needs to be much more than online and virtual. So we intend to run many more events, whether they be small and local, events that build on the work that SLA has already been doing for some time now, or maybe some more events like this. This was, as many of you know, sold out some time ago. A couple of you from Western Australia found that out the hard way, but still managed to get here, so well done. We think we'll do it again in Melbourne in July. We're working on some dates for that. If you're from Victoria, I apologise. But very much hope that is received as a positive thing, and we'll talk about some other cities in the future. Again, pending the evaluation that we get to read, but we certainly have, I think, plenty of good feedback that suggests that would be a valuable thing to do. So watch out for those dates and announcements as they come in the future. Speaking of conferences like this, I want to make the point that neither Social Leadership nor CSI see ourselves as just conference organisers. If there is a way in which we might be able to help you, please talk to us. We want to do much more than just run events and workshops. Now, we're both resource constrained just as much as you are, but it's our genuine desire to make this field of collaboration as successful as we can, and if that's by supporting you, then well and good. My final point, and the point on which I would really like to finish, I think has already been well made, and that is that you are not alone. We're all, I think, now in this together in developing collaborative approaches to achieve genuine impact in complex social issues. It is, unfortunately, the only way, but as Lila also said, let's have some fun along the road. Thank you very much for coming.